Greetings everyone, this is LIGHTSTAR. Now I'm excited because I'm going to dive into a topic today that is near and dear to my heart, and I know a lot of you guys have questions about, and that is on soul origins. This is something that I feel is very fascinating, very interesting, and I think a lot of you guys do also. So it's something that I've gotten a lot of questions about over the years, and I just felt like I really wanted to take this a little bit further for some of the general questions that I've gotten and help you guys to get some clarity on. So that is the main reason why I'm doing this video, and that's what we're going to do today. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your popcorn or whatever, your water, and let's get started on this awesome topic of soul origins. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad you guys are here today. So if you would like to join this beautiful YouTube tribe, you can do so. YouTube calls it subscribe. I just call it joining the tribe. But you can do so by just going to YouTube, my channel, and clicking on the subscribe button. If you would like to also hit that notifications bell, then that will keep you up to date on new videos that come out so you don't miss a thing. And also, if you guys also would like to watch this on other channels or other platforms, I am also on BitChute and Brighteon, and I will have links to those as well below, but you can go check me out there. And I also have a Patreon account as well, where you can do some donations. I want to thank all of the people who have donated so far, and I really, really appreciate it. It helps me so much with keeping this content. It takes a lot of work to do this video production and all that stuff. So I really appreciate you donating to the channel, and you can do that on Patreon, which also I will have the links below. And also you can do that through just PayPal. Either way, if you'd like to just do it via PayPal, that's fine. I may have some other ways for you guys to donate as well in the future with that, but right now it's just on Patreon and PayPal. And so you can go check me out over there and sign up. I will be having some more content exclusively on some kind of platform, but for right now, the Patreon site is like a donation. So I really, really so appreciate you guys with your donations on there. I also want to tell you guys that the platforms that I'm on right now, I started doing expansion about a year ago. Okay, so we're at a year now, at least from the time I'm filming this, that it's been a year. And now they're doing another purge because a year ago, almost at the same time, there was a massive purge off of YouTube for the whole COPPA law and all that. Now there's another massive purge on YouTube as well that's happening, and really a lot of other platforms too. But so I wanted to come on here and say that's why have expanded into some other realms. I may be expanding on some others as well too. But one place you can always find out wherever I am, if YouTube goes away and I'm not there or whatever happens, you can go to my website at lightstarcreations.com, bookmark the site, and also you can go to my contact page, which has a list of all the different social media and video platforms that I'm currently on, okay? Sometimes that changes as I grow here, but it should all be there on the contact page, so you can always find me wherever I am. That's really important right now because a lot of people are being deplatformed or censored, and a lot of these different sites are unreliable, so I just wanted to point that out. And if any of you guys are also having trouble and want to get some help with the replatforming process, there is someone that I recommend. He is awesome. His name's Matthew Raymer with Anomalist Design, and he is phenomenal. His company is Content Safe as well. That's one of the sites that helps you to he'll upload all of your content, your video content, video library to another platform that plugs in, so that it actually just is a backup channel for you or whatever you like. And it takes a tremendous amount of weight off of my shoulders because I've used the services and I couldn't have done it myself. You know, I don't have near the amount of video library content that some of the other creators do, but even mine, you know, I have a lot of content and there's no way I could have done that myself. And so Matthew's business is set up just for this. So he can help people move to other platforms, you know, and also he helps with other things too, like web development, web design, consulting. He helps a lot consulting with, you know, creators, YouTube creators and things of that nature with other options. Highly recommend him. I will link his information below if you'd like to contact him and just find out more about his services. Just really helped me a lot. So I wanted to share the love. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with everything. And I'll be doing some updates on some things if things change, but I just wanted you guys to know that. Like I said, if anything should happen, go to LIGHTSTARCreations.com and bookmark so that you have that right there and you can check it out there, okay? So the other thing I wanted to highlight here is I've got the calendar of 2021. My calendar is completed and I wanted to share that with you guys. So I'm going to do just a little brief video here that's going to show the calendar, and you can go get that on my website as well. It's 2 sizes, a wall size calendar, beautiful, beautiful color pictures of my artwork, and it's really awesome. So just take a minute here just so you can see it and see what it's like and check it out, okay? So let's take a look. Hey everybody, this is Lightstar, and I'm super excited to share with you today and introduce my 2021 Dimensions 8 wall calendar that is now available in 2 sizes, full color. And very exciting is that I have added something new, which is the lunar phases and the eclipses in the calendar. I had some requests for this in the past, and I have listened and found a way to do this for you all. So I've created my own little icons. As you can see, I'm just showing you all 12 months really quickly here, so you can just get an idea, and you can go onto my website and see these more up close and personal. But I have included these little lunar calendar little icons, and the eclipses are in here. And I've also included all 7 of my healing codes are in this calendar, as well as some of the newer images that I've had over the course of this year as well. So the cool thing about this too is that I've expanded this so you can see the full image. As in the past, I had some of them were blown up a little bit or enlarged, but now you can actually see the full image. And I'm really excited. I even took it down onto the calendar section page. You can see it's faded a little bit. There's a little bit of slight color behind it. And this is really, really cool because this calendar has really nice paper too. It's very thick. It's very, very sturdy. It also has a little hole at the top that you can put easily on the wall. So it's just an all-around great calendar. Again, it comes in 2 different sizes, so you can choose. So if you go onto my website at LIGHTSTARCreations.com, you'll be able to see the calendar, purchase it, and enjoy it all year long. Okay, you guys, so that's where you can go get my calendar. And so let's dive into the topic today. So I wanted to share a bit more about this topic, soul origins, okay? It's something that, like I said, is very near and dear to my heart, and I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys on this, and so I wanted to really share more about this. And so we're just going to dive into some of the questions I've had in the past. I went and reviewed some of the different questions I've had coming in and sort of collected the ones that I felt were related to this. and wanted to shed some light on this, okay? So I'm gonna do that. Let's get to it. So as I just dive right in here, I'm going to dive into one question that I feel has really come up. And so what is that? It is what is the difference between a starseed and a human who is not a starseed? Now, the starseed, we talk about this a lot. So the difference between a starseed and a non-human starseed, just really quickly in a brief way, is basically starseeds are people who have originated from the stars, other planets, other galaxies, other universes. That's where they have spent most of their time, and that's where their general soul energy is from, okay? And so they will have more of affinity for the stars because that's kind of where they're from in terms of their general vicinity within their matrix of their soul, if you will, has more, it has more seeds, if you will, that are coming from the matrix of stars, and the energies of star energy and things of that nature are kind of built in. Okay, so it's kind of a more of an innate, and they have a lot of gifts that come from that. They have expanded themselves in these areas. So that's more of what a starseed, okay? But human, there is a earth human, or I would say we're all in a human suit, right? Even starseeds, we come in this human suit. But the soul itself, there are some souls that are generally more reincarnating over and over and over again. Okay, so they continue to reincarnate here on the planet Earth primarily. So they're not necessarily starting out of the gate in the other planets, universes, galaxies. They're basically starting out their soul journeys here on planet Earth, okay? So that's why they're more earthbound. They have a little bit more affinity here. Not generally as much as most of us starseeds are missing home and wanting to go home, right? That's most of us that are that I work with, a lot are starseeds, and so that's the difference between that. There is a fine line there, and I do feel like there are people that here, generally, I think that you will see that more, like you will see the people that you'll know the difference, because the people that are generally more earthbound and more reincarnating here, it's like you could be telling them about starseed content till you're blue in the face and they still think you're absolutely crazy. Because people that are just not awakened yet that are starseeds, they are starseed, but they're just not awakened yet. They don't have as much resistance to that kind of content or that kind of material. They may not be awakened fully, but they will be, okay, something in that feels resonant or feels right, even if they don't really understand it. But the people that are really more earthbound, and I'm not talking about some of the ones who are more evolved, who do understand the expanded starseed realms, but the ones that don't necessarily, they, like I said, they will just not hear you, and they don't get it, and they don't feel resonance with it. So that's kind of the difference there, okay? And these are all related questions, and so I kind of wanted to just share them in order because I feel like they're kind of related. Another one that says, okay, so Earth souls, or whatever they're called, choose to come only to Earth, but if they choose to come only to Earth, which I just covered that, where do all the souls go in between incarnations? And then she asks, where do we spend our entire existence, incarnate on either Earth or another planet? Is there really some sort of heaven where the starseeds go when they die, and where the Earth souls go when they die? So it's kind of a complex question, so let's break it apart here a little bit. So where do the souls go in between incarnations? Now, what I want to share with this is that souls will go, everybody's unique, so all the souls aren't going to go to just one spot. It's not like one spot where you go, but a lot of us have these different places in the in-between state after you perhaps go and on one incarnation, and then you're about to go into a next one, or necessarily into a next one, you go to a place to do that sort of review, okay? The review of everything. That's very similar in a way to no matter what you are, starseed, human soul, earthbound soul, whatever. But generally speaking, you will see that the experiences of each soul will be very different and unique unto themselves. There's a movie out called When Dreams May Come, or If Dreams May Come, or What Dreams May Come. It's by Robin Williams is in the movie, and this is the best exemplary. Well, that's a word I just made up. I don't even think that's a word. But anyway, this exemplifies this point I'm trying to make, is that you'll see in that movie that each person's experience with where they go in the afterlife is different and unique depending upon what their experiences were here, really. So if your experiences were super negative and you were a negative person, or you were very depressed or suicidal or whatever, or you just were fearful, that is going to have a mark on your experience or your expression and what you experience in that sort of in-between or afterlife or whatever you want to call it. So it does vary, okay? So do we spend our entire existence incarnated on either Earth or another planet, or is this some sort of heaven? So this kind of is same thing as what I just said, where it's like you may have different experiences and different expressions of what that heaven is like. So you may see it as heaven, or you may see it as literally hell, depending upon your perception and your perception of your own soul, your soul's perception, based upon what you just experienced in that afterlife. So that's why sometimes you hear about souls have to go through maybe a little bit more of a progression. Suicides, and especially, may have to go through extra steps because they have somewhat damaged a little bit on the soul end of things, and really need to unravel that based on their choices. So your choices have a lot to do with it. Your thought processes here, even though it's just a brain, right? So our thoughts are just our brain, but it's all energy, and that gets recorded. The data gets recorded on what you were thinking and how you were thinking and behaving. It's all recorded. So you create that whole reality, and that reality follows you, okay, into other areas of the multi-dimensions and the other dimensions and other realities after you die. Hopefully that makes sense a little bit. So I think I answered that one. The other part to another question that came up is that, okay, so this one is, if somebody has lived many lives on Earth, but their soul origin is, let's say, Pleiadian, is that person then a starseed? Or maybe an old soul? And also, what is that person's soul origin if they're not a starseed? Okay, so let's just break this one apart too. If someone has lived many lives on their Earth, but their soul is Pleiadian. I want to stop this one really quick because I want to share that I see it differently. I see the multidimensional aspects of you make up the totality of who you are. So it's not just one single vibration, one single soul origin. So when people say like, I'm Pleiadian or I'm Syrian, it's like, that's one of your aspects, and that might be a really big one and one that you're really resonating with, but it's not the only one. And I see this in my own sessions where I do starseed alignment sessions, my interdimensional starseed alignment sessions. This is where I see that people are multidimensional. You have multiple aspects. It's not just one. So I know it gets a little complicated, but people tend to narrow the margin and the scope and just think they're only one. Well, you're more than that, but that's just for a whole nother topic probably. But in this way, if your soul's just origin is that person a starseed, is what they were asking. And the answer to that is, again, when I go back to you're a star seed when your primary place that you tended to jump out the gate, if you will, from your expression, tended to jump out the gate and go into the star realms, because that's where your primary energy has been residing. That's what calls you a star seed. You carry certain vibrations, certain energies, and certain seeds, if you will, that come from star matrix, that come from the core of these planets and energies of that, rather than the earthbound person. So yes, I would say, that person would then be a star seed. Okay, so it doesn't matter where it is, if it's Pleiades, star seeds, Sirian, Pleiadian, Andromedan, Lyran, like wherever. It doesn't really matter necessarily. It just means, yes, that would mean you carry those vibrational energies as star seed, and you will carry that energy with you wherever you go, whatever planet you go. Okay, so multiple people incarnate here, not just humans, but also starseeds, angelics, elementals, where that's kind of the different streams that I work with, but you'll see all of it. So old souls can also be starseeds, and it's not just a term that doesn't, correlate, or there could be old souls that are not even necessarily starseeds. So that term kind of goes along with just the soul that's been around the block. It's not necessarily just a new soul right out of the gate. You will find mostly, I feel, that a lot of new souls will incarnate here on Earth first, because this is like some people call it a prison planet, but this is the planet that we learn our lessons with other people and how to be around other people, and we learn it in a duality zone. Okay, so a lot of people come here and have to experience, like, it's one of the hardest places to be in the solar system, and maybe even the universe and beyond. So a lot of us want to come here because it is a challenge. Starseeds tend to want to come to help the planet raise the vibration and raise the frequency, because they have a different energy stream, whereas the human souls are kind of learning and growing and all of that. But we will have some evolved earthbound souls that are very evolved, and they will also anchor some of that energy here. So that's kind of the differences with some of the missions that might be coming in. So so that kind of answered that with what a person's soul origin is if they're not a starseed. And again, that could be elemental, could be angelic, could be starseed. Depends on where their energy stream comes from, where their DNA in their matrix is mostly contained, most of the data that's contained. Your soul is made up of basically data. It's energy, but it's data in there as well. So it's kind of like, it's like where, if you think about it this way, and I use this example in my sessions because it really helps to paint a picture of what I'm trying to explain here, is that the soul is like, think of it as like a hub on a wheel. The center of that wheel, that hub, is your soul. And it's much more expanded than that, but it's that center point. And then the spokes on a wheel go all different directions, right? There's many different spokes on the wheel, and they just fan out everywhere. And some of it's layered and layered and layered and embedded. You can't even see, but they're like layered in there. And so those layerings is the different aspects of your soul that's chosen in different, like you choose, like one spoke is 0.25% you've chosen to be here on Earth. 12% of it goes maybe out into Arcturus, and another 0.25% goes into the angelic realms, and on and on and on that goes. And so that makes up the whole wheel. The hub, the spokes, the wheel, it's all one unit. And it's happening all at the same time, which is what, exploded the mind here. That's what is the difficult part for people, I think, to get, is the concept of it's all happening at one time. So when people ask, and this is one good question to related to that, where it says, is your soul origin from our first incarnation, or is it wherever whoever worked with Source for a particular soul piece, but is our soul origin from the very first incarnation? Well, if you look at that and say, well, if everything's happening at the same time, how do you know what's first? Well, the truth is that we are all from source energy, light, whatever you want to call it, creator, source, light, energy. And that's really our true soul origin for basically all of us, in this instance. But it is true that where your journey began, where your expression began, is going to have, it's not really a case of first, second, third, or in order like that. It's more about the experiences that you've had and where you've chosen to plant yourself, or where you've chosen to start out your journey. Whether you're starting out your journey in the realms of the Starseed, and that's where the expression is, that's where your soul matrix is pulling you, and versus where if you're a human soul or you're a angelic or elemental, it's really about where the majority of your expression is coming from. And one thing I would like to say too is that this kind of may sum it up also, is that when people ask like, well, how do you know the difference between, it's kind of that first question, or maybe I didn't say this one. Oh, what's the difference between a starseed and a human who is not a starseed? Okay, so this answers this question is generally you will find that starseeds will be obviously open when they're awakened to all the starseed content, to all the different stuff that they are and all the different places. But what if the starseed is not yet awakened? Okay, so how do you tell the difference, right, between just human earthbound soul and starseed soul that's not awakened? That's the one question that I feel is very interesting. And what I feel about that, or how I kind of see in that, is that the one that is the earthbound, more tied here, doesn't really have as much of an opening or resonance to that kind of content at all, okay? Except for in the cases where I feel the earthbound soul has evolved enough on this planet, has enough evolution to then start to open up the mind and open up the expansion, and then start to be more open to it. And then they themselves may get the opportunity to then go in other incarnated places, other realms, starseed areas, that kind of stuff, and other planets. But the difference is that usually the souls who are more earthbound, more tied here, don't generally have that much of an interest or an opening. Even if you start talking to them about it, they may just really not be that interested in it or have any resonance with it at all. Some of them, maybe younger, I guess, souls will even, put it down, and we see that happening, where it's like it's all, crazy and whatever, and never have any opening at all to it. It's just not something that they understand. And yet the unawakened starseed, okay, the unawakened starseed, who is a true starseed, at some level, when they hear about it or when they see it, they may not understand it, but they'll have some kind of draw. They'll have some kind of interest in it. They'll have a more open-mindedness or receptivity to it. So that's where I feel the difference with that is, or how you can kind of tell the difference. Because the first one, generally you're not going to get them to understand or awaken. It just isn't going to really happen, because that's not who they are. Okay, it's not higher or lower, there's no like that, it's just not who they are. Okay, so this is the best way I can say it. So hopefully this gave you guys a little bit of an expanded viewpoint on this whole soul origins thing. I do this for a living, and I actually have my soul origins sessions. So that's the best place to go for private sessions to find out who you are. Actually has all the soul origins I look at, and also your past lives. I do look at that. I call it past lives, but it's all happening at the same time, just different expressions. And I do look at that. So that is my interdimensional starseed alignment sessions, which you can go on to my website at lightstarcreations.com, and you'll be able to find all that content there. There's phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is the download of all this information about your soul origins, intuitive reading, a past life. There's content in there, and also what your life purpose and mission is. And then the phase 2 of that is all energy work. That's my light language chakra clearing, and it's full energy work the whole time. And then the phase 3 is an upgrade to your energy, your chakra systems, also with light language, but an upgrade to the light body and to the energies there. So those are kind of the streams that you run through the progression, phase 1, 2, and 3. You can start at phase 1 and then do 2 and 3. You can do all 3. I have a package deal that you can get all 3, and saves you a little bit on the pricing, and also a bonus gift as well. So you can check those out. Also have lots of other types of sessions, obviously, but that's the one that is connected to what we're talking about today. And also just wanting to share, I have lots of other things on my website, like my music 444 activation, which some of you guys have also gotten, which is awesome, and really, because that actually does link into galactic, angelic, elemental, fairy, all the energies of the star realm. So it kind of has like flavors of each one, and they're music with light language. So it's a music activation with light language, really powerful. I created my own music that I started to do, which is awesome. And so that's what you can find, all of that stuff, all my custom art, my light code art, all the stuff that I can help you guys out with on my website at lightstarcreations.com. So I want to thank you guys for listening, for watching, and all that good stuff. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. I'll be back soon with some more content. And I have my channeling coming forth from Ascended Master Hilarion for 2021. That's coming up. And I'll probably be launching that very soon probably next month, before the end of the year. And so that's all for now. Signing off. I'm sending you guys love from the galactics, the elementals, the fairies, the angelics, and all of the ascended masters, and all the beings of light around you and your star family. And we will see you guys very soon. Bye now.